Euro 2020 quarter-final predictions, let's go. Italy are my favourites for this tournament. They've been phenomenal the entire time. They may have looked a little bit sketchy against Austria, but they fought through, and that's a sign of a good team. When you're being tested, you find a way to win. Chiesa on the bench, I think, was absolutely incredible. He should definitely start this next game for them, but they have Berardi and Insigne and Immobile up front. The fact that they can put Belotti on the bench is pretty incredible. What lets Belgium down is the fact that their defence is quite old, you know. Worryingly levels of oldness. Is that a word? Potentially not. And I have to base it now really on who I prefer England to play if we were to pull it off and actually get to the Euro final. Italy. Belgium. Italy. Belgium. Italy, no. It's just unfair. These are both incredible teams. I'm going to back Italy. And you've got to remember the fact that Belgium, they're going to be without potentially Eden Hazard, which isn't a huge issue right now. And Kevin De Bruyne now as well. That is a massive issue because, for instance, he comes off the bench against Denmark, having been injured beforehand, gets an assist within 10 minutes and scores a belting goal. But I probably would, if I really had to pick, say I'd rather face Belgium from an England point of view. Even though they probably would still beat us regardless, but still. Now, it is incredibly easy to fall for that trap again, isn't it? Let's just write off the Swiss and say it's going to be 3-0 to Spain and move on to the next one. But we're not going to do that, are we? We're not going to do that. Even though I do think Spain will still win this, we have to give Switzerland the benefit of the doubt and some respect because they put in a phenomenal performance against the French, and the French were quite complacent and cocky about themselves, and they come back from 3-1 down. That was on one of the best days of international football I think we've seen ever, to be honest. The Swiss will be full of confidence, but they could also be a bit complacent, and I think really, if you say beforehand, who do you think the Switzerland would have a better chance of beating before the games, France or Spain? You would say Spain, and the first two games Spain did look quite shaky because they couldn't score, you know, against Sweden and Poland. They just couldn't score goals. They scored one in that entire time. But then they go and score 10 in 2 games, so that completely wipes out my point. I don't even know why I bothered saying it, to be honest. But this really is not impossible for Switzerland. It is not impossible. A semi-final appearance would be a first. They've never done that before. It's quite a rare occasion to see Switzerland even in a quarter-final. And I think Spain will win this, okay? Let's just say that. Spain will win this. Let's just see what happens. I think Spain will do it, though. Only just. Lost of the world emotion, and I can't believe it's true. It would be the most England thing of all time to beat Germany, but lose to Ukraine in the quarterfinals. And this gives me vibes about Forest v Leeds last year. We won 2-0, and no one really gave us a chance, but we all thought maybe we could, but it probably won't happen. But it did happen. But what happened after that, we went completely and utterly off a cliff. Like, that's an understatement. So I'm just hoping that won't happen. But it does kind of feel like that. We've achieved quite an amazing milestone, but there's still quite a bit left quite a lot of work left to do. You've got to see the job out. I want us to reach, at the very minimum, the semi-finals. That's what everyone said before the tournament. Something tells me we won't actually win this tournament, because it's England. I'll talk about England a bit more. Do we stick to 5 at the back, or do we go back to a back 4? Because people complained about us playing 5 at the back against Germany, and I was one of those. I said, why are we playing 5 at the back and 2 defensive midfielders? Both of those defensive midfielders played amazing, but I think we matched what Germany do. Germany play 5 at the back. They rely quite heavily on their wing backs in Gosens and Kimmich, and we decided to do exactly what they do by playing 5 at the back and rely on Shaw and Trippier, and I thought it worked amazing. We can criticise Southgate as much as we like about his team selections, but he is getting the job done. He's winning games. We've not conceded a goal in 4 straight games. That's only the second time ever in a Euro game that's ever happened. As for Ukraine, we'll all go to players like Zinchenko because he plays for a Premier League side, but even he's chipping in with goals now. A fantastic goal nonetheless against the Swedes. But also up front, players like Yamchuk, a player that I wasn't actually that aware of at this tournament. He's really stood out to me, as well as Yarmolenko of West Ham. They both scored. Both scored I don't know why I said that again. They both scored in their first 2 games of this tournament. We're getting this done in Rome. We're winning. Simple as that. We're winning. The Czechs cannot be wrote off here at all because they've done an unbelievable job at this tournament. I didn't think anyone thought they'd get to the quarterfinals. I put them last in their group for some reason, even behind Scotland. Why would you ever do that? But the Czechs, wait, they've got Scott McKenna, that's why. Bristol City's Thomas Kallas has been quite an incredible player at the back for Czech Republic, showing that he probably should be playing at a higher level than a team that finished at 19th in the Championship. No disrespect to Bristol City, but it's just true. And then they've also got Souček and Soufal from West Ham, so we know England fans will know about those two, of course. They've got Denmark, who it's not impossible to beat, but Denmark have had an incredible tournament. The fact that they started it off in such an absolutely horrific way. They lost to Finland when they were well on top, and then mentally they should never have played that game ever. They've come back and they've just come back with a vengeance to lose their first 2 games, and they could potentially be getting to the semi-finals of this tournament. And Denmark, another team that played 5 at the back. It's quite a done thing. The Dutch, French, England now of late. Obviously, Scotland played 5 at the back. Germany do. It seems to be quite a popular thing at this tournament. Denmark will win this, in my opinion. I don't know how comfortably. I think the Czechs, it wouldn't be a major shock if they did win, but I do think that the Denmark should be winning this one. If my predictions come true, there's only 4 games for God's sake I've got to predict. It's going to be England v Denmark and Italy v Spain, and I think it'll be Italy v England in the final. And I think we'll lose. Thank you for watching this video. If you've enjoyed it, please make sure you hit the like button on it. It really does mean so much. Subscribe to the channel, follow my social medias as well, and yeah, comment below who you think is going to go through, and I'll see you very soon.